What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to the A Show with the Kings of Pro Wrestling Podcast. We are reunited. Meelz, what's going on?
Feel good? Does it feel good?
Feels so good, man. It was funny because I felt like I never left because I was still watching and I was still listening to the shows and stuff like that last week. Anyway,
Hey, did you miss talking to me?
yeah, I did. We didn't not talk. You know
No, of course not. But like on audio form, like we haven't done this for 2 weeks. You know what I'm saying? We're in a very consistent relationship, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I mean, it's very weird to me when I don't do the show. So like I'm very
it's
much.
It's very weird for me when I don't do the show. It's very weird.
I'm like, are they what are they doing with my baby? Like, are they?
I gotta check in to see if, who in this case was Armand. I gotta check in to see if he's doing better than me or not. Just to on the show, just so people are like, yo, they have amazing chemistry. Like, I would feel that way if who did the show? If Josh Pease did the A Show, I would be concerned for my job.
You don't have to be concerned. That would be Josh doing the A Show would frustrate me to no end because I
ain't watching that.
Exactly. I highly doubt there would be any type like he would relate everything to the streets, and I just I wouldn't be able to handle it, bro. Everything would would never happen in the streets or something like that, and I'd be like, all right, man, we got to cut this show off right now. We're cutting it short.
But you know what? I do want to give thanks to Armand and Stat Guy Greg because, I mean, we're 231 weeks in, 231 episodes in doing this, and we could not continue this consistent streak without those two, without everybody else who's co-hosted, everybody else who was a guest at previous time. And, we needed someone to fill in, and they filled in. So just want to, thank those two guys, and then also just thank our very supportive group in the Discord and our group of friends and just group of people who continue to support the show on a weekly basis because you're the reason why this thing is still going on. It is still going on, and we are still better than a lot, to be honest with you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm glad you're finally saying that.
I mean, I've been dabbling with a lot of other different wrestling podcasts, and I'm like, yo, we're just different. I think we have the best of both worlds when it comes to analysis and then also like being able to just talk about anything or bring it full circle for people. So I really like us. So thank you guys. And that's all I got to say for the beginning of the show. How was Barcelona? How about that?
Before we start, I gotta shout out some patrons. We didn't do them for the past.
We got hot takes today.
We do.
Hot cakes.
We do. Wait a minute. Join day. There we go. Join day. So since the beginning of March, we got you tweaking media, Chris J. Shout out to you.
Woo.
We got James Salmon. I think I might have shouted you out before, but shout out to you again. But just recently, we got Young Man. I think is this Donnie Lucci again?
Maybe.
Are you on here twice, bro? What are you doing, man?
I ain't, man. You know what I'm saying?
What are you doing, man? Barcelona was great. I think I'm probably on like the tail end of the lag that I felt. It was also very weird because like we had we had such a big time difference. So like I was like, damn, I think I hit you like, damn, Raw not on yet. I was like, it was like 11.
You know how I feel, huh? You in the future, baby. Come on.
I was like, bro, y'all was watching Raw at 1 a.m. Barcelona time. Now I know how those European people feel when Wrestlemania is on, and it's all like evening for them.
I'm not gonna hold you. I'm not going to Wrestlemania. I might take the day off after Wrestlemania. I might.
You have to. It's a lot.
It's a lot of wrestling.
And so I had a really weird schedule where I would fall asleep like pretty much the whole week except for like the last night. So I would fall asleep at 11 just out of pure exhaustion and wake up at 4 a.m. So I would have nothing to do. Like it would be midnight, probably East Coast time, I think.
And Raw would just be starting.
and Raw would just be starting, but I wasn't like really allowed to watch Raw on YouTube TV, so I would watch it. I would literally watch it on the local channels, and it had it in English and everything.
Oh, that's always nice. Look at that dominant language of English that we speak here. Come on.
Bar- Barcelona is actually a lot more Americanized than a lot of people think. Like, there's a lot of places where and I think what's really dope about it is the cultural part of it, where it's like people speak French, people speak English, people speak Russian, people speak German, people speak Spanish. Like, Spanish is not the only language spoken out there, and I thought that was really dope. Yeah.
To be honest with you, if you asked me what language they spoke in Barcelona, I would not be able to tell you. I would fail that quiz immediately. But it's nice knowing that you get English stuff over there and everything of the rather. How was the food? How about that?
The food was fantastic, man. Like, I'm not even gonna lie. Like, I think that, like, it's very fresh. So, like, if you're used to American food and stuff like that, like, you're gonna hate it, because I never noticed how much preservatives we put in our food. Like, it's really bad.
Yeah.
Like, even soda is like basically sugarless. Like, there's no sugar. Like, or like either it's like really pure sugar, or there's no sugar at all. But if
You
it
drain this shit
tasted
like,
like
what the fuck is this?
it tasted like diet. And I was out there with another RNC member, Justin, Bradley, and he was like, yo, I don't like any of the sodas out here. Like, there's because they don't hit. They don't got that, the sting. And
They don't
when it
got
goes down,
the Y2 stinger, baby.
yeah, they don't got that. They don't got like that
Catch the buzz, feel the sting.
So, like, I was like, bro, like, there's no, like this. It's like an actual soft drink. It's like an actual soft drink.
Wow. So that's where the name comes from. Wow.
So that was cool. Like, I had, like, their seafood is just so fresh and just really, like, just really dope, man. Like, it just really, 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 really dope food out there. Really dope, everything. Like, I met up with Stat Guy Greg, days
Woo!
removed from the show, and I said I got to link with him, man. We got to link. So he, first couple of days kind of punted because we were just so busy. But on that last day that we were out there, we met up, and I met him at the Saint Laurent store. And it's funny. So he's like, I knew it was him immediately, because when I looked up, he was like, yo, I took a cab, and he got off at the wrong stop, or he got off at a stop like past where we were, and I saw him across the street. I was like, that's that nigga right there. He wearing a New York hat, because y'all New York people
Yeah.
y'all love to let everybody know where you're from.
Of course, nigga. Fuck out of here.
We're in Barcelona, fam. We don't we don't care where you're from.
That's a lie. Because if I say I'm from New York to anybody, anywhere else, they'd be like, you from New York? What's New York like? Oh my God, I've only been there once.
No.
I've only been there thing. Listen, people love New York.
Nobody cares about New York, bro.
When's the last time you've been to New York?
Not overseas. I haven't been in New York in about a decade and some change.
You should come. It's different.
No, yeah, COVID, yeah.
You should come. Take a trip. You've got plenty of people who I'm sure would love to greet you in various ways.
Oh God.
Here in New York City.
When it was a no-fly zone. I couldn't come out there. Like, nigga, get out of here. But yeah, no, we sat down, we ate, we just talked about life, and I just kind of told Greg how much I really appreciated him, and I really got that, and now it was important for me to say that to him, to his face. I never got to say that to his face, and it was just really important to say that and to meet him. I've met Greg now and multiple other people before I've actually ever met you in person, Meelz.
I've met Greg before I've met you, so I guess Greg is the lucky one.
Yeah. It's so crazy that we have been able to just kind of.
But this is what we've been waiting. This is the bill that we've been waiting for. So when the moment happens, it's gonna be amazing, spectacular, magnanimous. You know what I'm saying? This is gonna be a big moment when the worlds finally collide, when we finally meet, and then I don't know what else is gonna do. I might cry. I don't know.
I'm probably gonna cry. I almost cried the time when RNC came out for the cookout, and they said that you were there at Roscoe's. I like popped up. Where is he? And they were like, he's not here. I was like, yo, y'all are fucked up.
I would do some shit like that though. That would be my kind of steez. Um,
Fuck you.
I would definitely do some type of shit like that. I do that to my niece all the time. Um, but yeah, I mean, listen, I'm glad you had fun. I'm glad you had adventures. I'm glad you had everything over there.
It was my first time. It was my first time out of the country, man. Like
Just
it was
a
amazing.
just a young man from Virginia now seeing the world.
Yeah, yeah. And it was also funny. I was in business class, so I was
Talk
like,
about it.
I was really living. I was really living it, man.
We got a
I
we
was
got
really.
a we got a boss nigga discount on the thing, or we took it off.
Nah, we didn't take it off. Boss nigga discount is right here. You know.
There you go. Oh my god, I love that you have it there. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. It's here. It's always here. It's always close. I always got it in the tuck. You feel me? Always. But yeah, I'm back now. Right in time for Mania. I'll be at Mania weekend next weekend. But so next week will not be a normal show. We won't be talking about the go home shows. We will be doing our WrestleMania.
We
We're not talking about that. Are
we're
we
not
really
talking
talking?
about SmackDown, but I feel like we should definitely see
What
what
Raw
goes
talk?
on with Raw.
Raw seems like it's going to be the go home show
Yes,
next week.
the go home show.
Yeah,
SmackDown is whatever battle royal and
yeah.
what they got going on. Undertaker dressing up. We got Undertaker at 10 p.m. Don't miss the Hall of Fame later on Peacock. Like one of those.
Is that how that's gonna work?
I'm pretty sure that's. I feel like they're gonna spend the last couple minutes selling you because there's no way they're gonna flip that ring over that quickly for
Yeah,
the Hall of Fame. So we're definitely gonna get a tease at a Hall of Fame before we get all that. And then them niggas might be watching Rampage while the real niggas getting inducted.
right. Yeah. I just wonder how they're gonna pull that off. It's gonna be late to be doing that. It's
Listen,
super late.
it's part of WrestleMania weekend, baby.
Yeah, I guess. But yeah. So check us out next week. We're going to the
Oh,
Mania.
also Wally
I'm sorry.
Mania next week too. Yeah.
It is Wally Mania. The guest list was finally revealed. Shout out to Cass. So that's gonna be big. We're gonna be in the building. RNC is gonna be in the building. A Show Network is gonna be in the buildings. I know a couple patrons are gonna be there. A couple fans of the
Listen,
show.
don't run up too quickly. You know what I'm saying? J5 rolling deep is all I'm saying. Don't run up too quickly. You might want to approach him. You know?
I'll pretty much know what everyone looks like in general. So like if you run up on me, you know what? Go
All
ahead.
right.
Just don't run up like yo. You know what I'm saying?
It's
Like,
different in the club, baby. It's different in the club. You know what I'm
I
saying?
think like Ty might be like a little like who's this? Like Ty is legitimately might harm someone, but yeah, no. You should be fine. You should be cool. We're all about love and then positivity next week, unless you're not.
Don't get
Anyway, let's flip over to Patreon. We'll see you guys in a second. Let's get the no holds barred back from Patreon here. We had some hot takes.
Listen, man, pay the $5. You got long. We talked long on that one, man. Pay the $5.
It was a lengthy hot. So here's the thing. Here's one thing I didn't do that I forgot to do this week because I'm the first week back. I forgot to pull the news, so I've been pulling some news as we've
Okay.
been talking all morning. Not much has happened, to be fair. Not much has happened, so like we're not gonna like go crazy. But PW Insider. let's talk about wrestling journalism. Can we talk about that?
Yeah, let's do that.
Let's talk about wrestling journalism, right? You ready for this?
Sure.
Oh, 2 weeks ago, someone said talks with WWE and Cody have fizzled out.
Woo! Let's bring that up.
And niggas said, #niggas said that apologize to this guy. He's right. This is good. This is what's happening. This is cool. You know, we told y'all. We don't really know, but he knows. He ain't really, you know what I'm saying? Like it's a bunch of shit that people were saying. He don't miss. He's told us about the time when this music was coming back and whatever. So PW Insider Well, to be fair, like Mike Johnson, I believe Wade Keller, a couple other people never ever reported anything other than that. They've always reported kind of things that have happened. So like,
Because where else would he go, nigga?
exactly. So they reported that Cody Rhodes has signed with WWE, and funny enough, that he signed a deal roughly 10 to 14 days ago. Around that time,
that it was
talks
fizzling.
had fizzled out.
That it was fizzling, baby.
The crack is fizzling, not the talks. The crack is fizzling, not the talks. Wade Keller actually reported that Cody was WWE bound. So Wade was actually first on that. But the plan is that Rhodes will debut on WrestleMania weekend and join the Raw roster. It's likely that he's gonna probably replace some of that star power that Brock's gonna leave behind. Because I would imagine, would it be wild to me for us to imagine that Brock would probably take a couple months off after Mania, right? He's
worked a lot.
He's worked a lot. So like I would imagine he'd probably be off for a couple of months, probably come back Money in the Bank. But so here's my thing with this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's count all of the times that people were wrong in the past 2 and 3 months, and they tried to say that you need to pay $5 to be wrong. Okay, so ROH thing, which I broke on here, and people acted like they didn't know it was Tony Khan. They tried to say it was HBO Max was gonna get AEW, which makes no sense.
Tell them why it don't make no sense, bro.
Because if I know, that means you know. Saying this, if I knew it, your ass should have known it. I ain't bigger than y'all. I'm not a bigger scoopster than y'all. I know people.
If AEW was going to be on HBO Max, AEW would not have been the first to break that news at all.
Yeah. It would have been a press release.
Deadline, Variety, one of them shits right now. Would have been one of them. But it's definitely not going to be on fucking wrestling television. But yeah.
So they're wrong about that.
Okay.
Vince McMahon's going to show up. He's got an angle. He's got an angle with Pat McAfee. They're gonna do something crazy on the show. He's gonna have a match at Mania. Him versus Pat McAfee. 73, 78-year-old man versus what was Pat, like 40s, late 30s?
Nah, it gotta be in his 30s. Something. I hope he's not 40.
Pat McAfee, they say he's an American professional wrestler on his Wikipedia. He's 34 years old. He's my age.
Could have been you doing backflips from the top rope, nigga.
Hey, it legitimately could have been me. So so he's gonna have a wrestling match with somebody he's 30 years older than. Turns out Vince McMahon goes on there. He said, "I'm going to give you an opportunity at the match." It had become clear to me when they had that interview that it was going to be Austin Theory. I don't know if it was clear to you. I was like, "Oh, it's going to be Theory," because that's what they were leading to.
I never saw Vince McMahon wrestling, and nothing trended in that direction at all.
And because of this, people were upset at his interview because here's the one thing that's been clear about all of this is that people have gotten really upset when the things that these people who are just people, they're just people on the internet, they get really mad when they don't do what these people said that they were going to do, and they get too worked up. What was the other thing they were wrong about, Meelz? Is the Cody thing like kind of the big thing? Oh, Stone Cold. What was it? He didn't want to do it. He didn't sound happy about doing it, according to Jim Ross. It's not going to be a match. I'm
confused what Jim Ross heard, nigga. I'm confused what Jim Ross heard because not to say that Stone Cold don't seem happy. I don't see Stone Cold as like them. This is like the 11th year in a row they offer me this mad money to wrestle. I don't know what Jim Ross heard.
So he says all that. It's not going to be a match. The talks at Fizzle, remember? Because Austin was like, no, I'm not going to do that. They don't know it. It's the biggest thing here also is hashtag internal documents. Everyone has these internal documents about people, and nobody even fucking knows these. They're like, can you show us the internal documents that you've been seeing? I don't know what these are. So they were wrong about that. It ends up like, here's the thing. We don't know what it's going to be, but it's definitely going to be a lot more. It's going to be some physicality from what it's looking like. It's no way it's just going to be one stunner and done. It's going to be like something happening. KO is usually the guy that they send out to beat up on old guys anyway. So he's pretty safe in that regard. That was another thing they got it wrong. Now this Cody thing, people are getting really upset that he has not shown up, even though WWE has not advertised this guy as showing up ever. Ever. They've never advertised him as showing up. Now, about him being signed, I believe he was signed well before their reporting. But he has been around. He has been in the PC. I know this. If I know it, I know these niggas know it. That's why I'm saying it right now. Because that's the only reason I'm saying it right now is because I know that they know this too. But he's been around already.
Or if they don't know it, I don't know what the hell you subscribing to.
Exactly. He's been around already. He was signed probably well before that. I think it was damn near immediate from what I heard. But so like he's been around. This is the storyline that they're choosing to do. Why would you not just you know what I'm saying? Why would they not just wait? Because here's the thing, they know you're going to keep watching. Now that this is leaked and whoever's leaked it to these guys, they know that they're going to keep watching it every single week. Keep getting mad. Keep getting mad. They never said this guy was showing up. If they say Cody's going to show up on Monday, he doesn't show up, then you get mad. But what I don't get, Meelz, is that like why people want this surprise to be not only predicted and told when it's going to happen, but in a company, Meelz, where they never do surprises. They never do surprises on this company, Meelz, ever. Why do you want to ruin this one? I don't get it. Biggest surprise of the past year was Cena and Brock showing up within a month of each other. Those were the two biggest surprises of the last year, and no one knew about those.
I didn't know. No, I don't think anyone knew about Brock for sure.
No one knew about Brock. Yeah, the Brock one was for I had revealed the Cena thing on Patreon, but like no one knew about Brock.
Right.
Nobody.
Whew. No one knew about Becky neither. It was thought.
Oh, nobody knew about her.
Yeah, because we didn't know that it was gonna. But yeah, listen, man.
They looking stupid, man.
Think wisely. Really do. And we'll see how everything turns out. Anyway, I ain't apologize to no one, and I'm glad I didn't because I knew damn sure. I was like, well, he ain't going back after that Kenny Omega interview. I know he ain't going back to AEW. He said he was going to be the GM of ROH. I was like, come on, man, y'all don't. This ain't WWE 2K22.
Oh my god! Like, bro, where else is he gonna go? Where's he gonna go? He's about to make Tony look dumb as hell, and that's why people are upset. They keep bringing up these old quotes that he's done in old interviews, and I think that the real thing they need to listen to is that final promo he did, the perplexing promo that everyone talked about. He was like, "What are he talking about?" Listen to that again, with all the context about Tony not paying him, about all the new people he hired, all of the creative impasses they got into. That promo talks about all of it in that promo. Every single part of it. He's shitting on the company. Listen, I'm not a big Cody. Whatever on bro. Shout out to him getting the bag if that's why he left and they pay him what he owed. And listen, I'm not gonna forget about the fact that this dude went from a boss to an employee. Let me just be clear about that.
Who else?
He went from a boss. I'm
trying to think of a rap. I'm trying to think of a rap related thing.
Jay-Z.
Either Jay-Z or Nas at this point.
Jay-Z went from president to being a rapper again.
Yeah.
Somebody's gonna try and argue. Somebody, well, he owned his master. Like, nah, nigga, you were rapping for a label. Nigga. Like, yeah, the deal might have been favorable, just like the deal is probably favorable to Cody, but you're still an employee, bro. Absolutely. You're still on Def Jam or Rock Nation, whatever the fuck. Yeah, man. Listen, bro.
Y'all gonna pay. Cody said y'all gonna pay me, and if I ever decide to come back, I'm gonna charge y'all double. That's exactly what this is exactly the move. This is what I mean. I don't want to get too much into Adam Cole because Adam Cole got his own life. And
you piss people off when you talk about Adam Cole. You be making people very upset.
But I'm saying it's like, yo, bro, you didn't even. I mean, sure, they would have changed your name, maybe. Actually, probably not. I don't know because Tommaso Ciampa still cooking, but you didn't even give it a chance, man. You couldn't even parlay that into the bigger bag when you eventually left. I would have signed a 1-year extension. Yeah. Now, your run would have been over in 6 months. Don't get me wrong. Because as soon as that shit was over, they would have took you right back down or something like that. But you might have enjoyed it. Who knows? I don't know. You could have done that. Built up the equity. Show up on a Wrestlemania. And then leave.
Yeah,
and then you can
make
charge him. You can charge him a little bit extra. I'm sure. Listen, if Rusev,
everyone keeps talking about know your worth. I feel like a lot of these niggas don't know their worth.
If Rusev is getting paid less than Adam Cole, I don't know why he signed that 5-year extension. If Rusev getting paid less than Keith Lee, I don't know why he signed that extension. So I'm assuming Rusev getting broken off. I'm assuming Miro getting broken off, even though he hasn't been using like damn near 6 months. I'm assuming he getting broken off. But Keith Lee, I would have stuck it out a little bit, but he got his own issues. Adam Cole,
well, Keith Lee got released. You know what I'm saying? The one thing about
true,
Adam,
true.
Like Adam was never
it was
getting
a choice.
Released. Yeah, it was a choice. He was never getting released. It was clear that they had plans for this guy. You know? So it's not like that. It's like he's like, do you think he's gonna make as much money as he wanted to if he comes back? No. You got to build that shit up again.
Listen, Johnny Gargano, congratulations on your baby. I want you
smart, brother.
I want you to look real hard about this situation. Do what they did on Boy Meets World. Get a bag of jelly beans and start weighing out the pros and the cons. Jelly bean in a bag, jelly bean in a bag.
Here's the thing with Gargano. He can't go back to 2.0. Like, I think that's just dead. You know what I mean? Like, you can't go back to 2.0.
It'd be like going back to high school.
Is that offer on the table for him still? Do you think, if Gargano goes back?
Bruh. That's a good ass question.
That's what I'm saying. It's been 3 months. Is that offer still on the table? Who does he reach out to now that Regal's gone and Triple H isn't really there anymore? Does he reach out to Shawn? Who does he reach out to?
You got to be. He wants Shawn kids. You got to reach out to Shawn.
Candice is still there for the foreseeable future. So like when she's back from maternity leave, I think in the next 5-6 months, she'll be going back to 2.0. I would say by SummerSlam weekend. Then it's hey man, we don't know, man.
We don't know. We don't know.
Hey man, it's a lot of questions. But Gargano, I don't know. Shout out to you, man. Shout out to you.
Shout out to you.
Next thing. Undertaker says that he believes today's WWE product lacks a level of grit. He says, our business has changed. We have trainers, we have doctors that travel with us. These protocols are in place when you get hurt. So one of the greatest evolutions in our business is that you have to, if you do get hurt, you have to get cleared. But early on, you didn't tell anybody that you were hurt because you didn't want to take any time off because you weren't going to get paid. And that's a bloody and vicious cycle. You're out there working hurt. And when you're working hurt, you're trying to protect one thing and you're going to end up hurting something else. I feel there's a level of grit that's missing from today's product. I don't know that it's anybody's fault. We all aged out, so that new group has come up. When you watch Brock wrestle, you're interested because you know he's got this background, not only as an amateur wrestler, but also a professional wrestler and a mixed martial artist. Brock doesn't do a bunch of crazy moves. Brock manhandles your ass. You get in there, you get thrown around, and you get smashed. And he also goes on to say Randy Orton and Roman Reigns also have that to them. But he says a lot of the younger talent, it's the evolution of that comic book era, the superhero era. I think that's what's their motivation and what their inspiration is. And they didn't have to come up and bust heads in bars and figure out how they're going to eat and things like that. Oh my God.
Yo, what is this nigga talking about? I'm gonna keep it real with you. I think a lot of people are taking offense to this. I see it as a man who's just seeing how far the businesses came. I don't think he's shitting on this generation of wrestler, but he's saying this, we were in a completely different era. So I'm not saying he thinks the wrestlers are soft. I don't think he thinks these wrestlers are soft, but I think based on they just built different. People walked around with their damn tricep hanging out their damn arm and wrestled the next night for 3 nights. People took chair shots to the head. We don't do that no more.
he clearly says in there, and I think people were getting so pissed off about it, but I'm like, he clearly says it's not their fault. You know what I'm saying? It's
Yeah, it's
not
not.
their fault. And to be fair, WWE isn't forcing them to be like how they
Yeah.
were.
And to be
Right?
honest,
Like,
old heads say that about the NBA too. You listen to a Charles Oakley interview, or you listen to a Michael Jordan, or really anyone from the late 80s, early 90s who talking about how rough it was. And you're like, man, everybody's soft right now. Like, fucking, what did, I think it was, I'm not even sure if it was Charles Oakley. You can correct me on Twitter or something like that. But you said like, yo, Giannis would be coming off the bench in his era. And I was like, nigga, you are drunk. Giannis body slam anyone at Wrestlemania is they hurting.
that is the wildest, nigga. That is the wildest take.
I was like, you know what? Go ahead. But it's
Oh
just a
my God.
just a difference of generations and stuff, man.
Yeah, man. And I think that he looks at it as like, yeah, you do, because here's the thing, I do want tough guys, man. I really do. A lot of these wrestlers are not like
We
Adam Cole,
want
not a
real
tough guy.
ones. We want real
Yeah,
ones
like
too.
Adam Cole is not a tough guy. Johnny Gargano is
Nah.
not a tough guy. I enjoy both both of these guys. John Moxley, is John Moxley tough, or is he just a nigga that likes to get hurt?
He crazy.
Yeah, he's not a
He
tough
crazy.
guy. He's just a nigga that likes to get hurt, who likes to hurt himself.
Like, you might square up with him and he might grab a wine glass and start chewing in it. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Like, he's not a tough guy. People get it misconstrued, bro. You're not tough if you get thrown into shit. You know what I mean? You a tough guy if you know, if you really like if you was beating niggas up in the bar, that's a tough guy, bro. But the thing is that also like the
We ain't gotta
definition
beat
of,
people up in the bar anymore, though. You know
yeah, like,
how hard life used to be in the early 90s when I was a kid growing up? Gangs
yeah,
and shit. They used to tell
yeah,
me, my parents used to warn me every day after school, don't stay out because, whatever gang is out there and they doing this on Halloween. Oh, it's initiation night. Oh, it's this, is that. Society has changed. I don't gotta worry about that shit no more. Hope to God. Um, but I ain't gotta worry about that shit no more. Society has changed in general. Please don't take offense to it, people. Please, it's just an old man with old stories talking his old shit.
I don't even think Undertaker's wilding though. That's the crazy part about it. Is like,
No, he's not. I didn't see that either. I'm glad we're on the same page because I didn't even. I was like, I'm not bothered by
I
this
didn't
at all.
because the thing is, he didn't name any names. And the only people he said that kind of give you that feeling of old school, and the thing is, people would agree with him. It's Randy Orton, it's Brock, it's Roman. Those are the guys that remind you of that old age, that old time, bro. That's what it is. I think there's people that I could see coming up. I'm gonna talk about one of them in a second, but Braun Breaker is one that reminds you of that old age. But to the same effect, Carmelo reminds me of old HBK, who got his ass beat in a bar. He wanted a tough guy. You know what I mean? Like, he was a showman. So, there's room for both. And I think is what he's saying, for sure.
Absolutely.
I'm ready for this guy to show up though. Gable Steveson. He won his second NCAA Heavyweight National Championship and retired. He is starting in WWE in less than 2 months. He said he will be at WrestleMania. What's your ceiling for this guy, Meelz? You've seen him. He's huge. I think he'll be a little bit leaner in WWE. I think they make the workout regimen. They make him lean and kind of fit. But I think there's a lot. Like, if this guy can talk, Meelz, I think we're looking at the future for sure.
I think he's going straight to the main roster, so there's that learning curve. I mean, he's not going to have the NXT run at all. He's just not.
Mm-mm. He's going straight to Raw. Remember, drafted. Remember?
He's going straight to Raw. Could be, if he can't speak, and if he doesn't immediately show up in the ring, it could be slow for him for that first year, and then he eventually picks up. It's usually either or for me. I can't really say, because we've had a lot of incredible Olympic athletes who just became nothing. And the only one that we got, Kurt fucking Angle. which is the standard. I wish the best for him, but I honestly can't tell right now. I've never seen him in the ring. I really got to do the eye test before I do anything.
Yeah. People are like, oh, he could do a backflip. I'm like, that's cool, but can he talk?
Yeah.
Like, it's got to be, can he talk? He got to be able to talk, bro. Like, he got to be able to talk. And, you know,
they go put him with Gable. But Gable Stevenson, meet Chad Gable. You're going to try to initiate him in the Alpha Academy.
Gable's name's going to be the Shush Man, bro. The Shush Man. He's not going to be Gable anymore, bro. That's over with. I think they're going to change his name, man. I low-key think they're going to change his name. I think they're going to change Gable Stevenson's name. That's my prediction.
All right. I was like, I thought we changed Chad Gable's name, but to be Shush Man.
I think they're going to change Gable Stevenson's name.
Shush Man would be hard.
That's my wild prediction.
Okay.
But I think that's it for Noah's, but not really much happened. I don't think we missed much. So we're gonna go to the weekly shows where we talk about KO making a new transition in his life, and Brock Lesnar doing Brock Lesnar things after the break.
Are y'all ready to see Kevin Owens open up a can of whoop ass on Stone Cold at WrestleMania? Give me a hell yeah! You know, I don't think I got that. I said, if you're ready to see Kevin Owens raise hell all over that sorry son of a Stone Cold, give me a hell yeah! What? 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 You know, I heard all of the things that Kevin Owens said about my home state of Texas, and they were horrible things, but let's be honest, they're all true, and it got my attention. So when he invited me to be a guest on the biggest, most stupendous KO show of all time, well, you saw what I did, right? You saw that horrible little video. I drove out in the middle of nowhere and pretended to be a badass while standing in front of my pathetic little golf cart. And I gotta say, I didn't really know what I was gonna do. So I figured, I'll just do what I do best, and that's run my little mealy mouth and accept Kevin Owens' invitation without thinking.
I could really run that whole thing, but
that was funny as fuck, by the way.
Tremendous.
That was funny as hell. One, clearly not an impressions guy. Clearly. Didn't
even try.
Didn't lean into the Steve-isms. This is not A+ doing his thing. Kevin Owens just like, I'm gonna stick in my lane. I'm not even gonna try to put on an accent or something like that. But just funny as fuck in general. For just pointing out the real, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. He drove up in the middle of nowhere to talk to nobody in his little golf cart. You know what I'm saying? Come say that shit to my face is what he's saying.
I think what was great is that you can't do that promo if you're not a fan. You know, like he had everything down pat there. And it was a rare moment where things did not feel scripted in that promo. And I think that's where it worked for me, where it was like, it felt like it was actually Kevin Owens going out there riffing on this guy for 5 minutes. And the crowd hated him. They hated him. And they bit on the music, hook, line, and sinker to a point where like,
what a bunch of, I'm sorry, Chicago.
This is the biggest thing on night one now to me. And I know I always say that Mania winners get the main event. I don't think that this should be true this time. I really don't think it should be true this year.
We covered WrestleMania 18. We saw the perils of trying to force something, and we go talk about it on SmackDown. Because honest, they're still trying to force this shit, and I'm not biting it. I'm not biting this Charlotte Rhea thing at all.
Charlotte Ronda.
Charlotte Ronda. I'm sorry.
but I mean, let's go into it on SmackDown. SmackDown's really like a 2-angle show now, with kind of like a undercard that's kind of just like whatever. Like we'll see it when we see it. They're pushing the physicality. They're doing everything they can with these women's programs. I think just in general, they're doing it's a detriment to the women on this card that there just aren't enough matches and there just aren't enough storylines. And like once again, like the guys are kind of taking precedence over it, and it feels like even Ronda is kind of like second or third here to the amount of sheer people that are coming back this year that might be like bigger than her.
Ronda is very self-aware, and I think she knows it ain't gonna hit the way it is right now.
Yeah,
I would assume that she knows. Because
is it fair to say niggas just really might want her and Becky to go at it again?
Nah, I think that would be incredibly accurate. I think Charlotte's the wrong person in this thing. Not that Charlotte's necessarily the wrong person, but y'all can't keep booking her the same fucking way. You literally just remove someone else from this. You remove Tony Storm and Pies, and this is the same thing that Ronda Rousey is going through. It is literally word for word, bar for bar sometimes. So you see Charlotte, she comes out in a great outfit, she cuts the great promos, but the promos aren't even that memorable at all. Ric Flair, as much as we don't talk about him much now these days, Ric Flair, every time you cut a promo, you remember it a lot because of the way he was saying things and the way he did. And I'm not trying to compare, Ric Flair to Charlotte Flair, but you got to come at it a little bit different. The way Becky came at it this week, out of the park. Out of the park. She coming at it different now. She's leaning into, we're going to get on that on Raw. So you know what? Let me pull back. But she needs to lean into something a little bit different in her character. In terms of also the women, that tag team match was bomb.com. The bomb.com.
It was great.
Best shit on the show.
I thought that seeing that, I was like, I now want to see that match at Mania. Like I was like, I'm into it. So like I'm digging it. I want to see if they're able to, if they get time. Because remember last year when Natalya and Tamina got like all that time. I was like, bro, why are they getting time?
Why are they going the distance? They didn't even win.
Yeah, like if they get that time at Mania, then like that match is gonna be a banger. But it's just sad that like Rhea couldn't get a singles match and like Alexa can't be on the show. Like it is really, you're starting to see like the casualties, of the way that these shows are built out, and they're big shows. Because like, watch they do this, and then next month at WrestleMania Backlash they have like 4 women's matches. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, because you know it's gonna happen because they like the other pay-per-views have gone on that cadence, but just not Manias and SummerSlams, and I think that's kind of fucked up. I don't think that's right, but I don't know. Like I just think that I like the table spot. I thought it was cool. I thought they could have did that weeks ago though. But it's like, if Ronda can't talk that well and she's all physicality, stop trying to make her talk. You know what I'm saying? Or give her a. And another thing I think is happening is that I don't think Heyman, or doesn't feel like Heyman's writing her promos anymore.
I haven't listened to a word that came out of Ronda's mouth this entire thing, because it's not. I know what it is. By the time we reach the end of the show, I'm like, all right, whatever. Now the start of the show. Whew.
Attitude Era.
I love it.
Attitude Era shit.
My man said Brock ain't gonna be here. It's like, of course that nigga ain't gonna be here.
Hey, Roman with the N-word. Hey, that's somebody's goddamn dream right there, boy. I'm telling you right now. They just once hear how Roman talk off the mic, bro. I'm telling you. Just like that time Roman hit the N-word silently.
Silently. It was a stealth one. You know. But then the moment Paul Heyman reveals that Brock is actually out, that is just bad intel. That is the worst intel that you can never have, because he literally shows up like minutes later. Roman's like, yo, let's get them. He's like, you can address him. I'm out of here. He like picks up his shit. He dips. He's out with the smoothest. I've been there, man. We gotta leave. We gotta go. It's a wrap. They try to get in their car. Brock Lesnar comes from side A with a forklift, jams it through the car, a brief glimpse of Jey Uso breaking character. He was chuckling his ass off in that damn car. And then Brock Lesnar. Go ahead.
Tears the door off a truck.
Tears a door off a fucking truck. And then he carries that door to the ring for a promo and sells the show. I was like, all right, I'm into it.
They've done... The reason you can't be mad at this, I mean, you can be mad at it, I don't give a shit, but like the reason that you gotta fuck with it is that like they've done more this time around than they've ever done.
Time.
Yeah, because both guys are just at that level. And this is the first time I felt like in a main event that both guys are where they need to be. They're at the top of their fucking games right now, which is unheard of for both guys because they've been around for so fucking long. But they're at the character and the orbit that they need to be at. And I honestly, after that segment, I was like, I don't need to sell this anymore for myself. But they're gonna try it one more time on Monday. But it's very old school. It's very much, this is the most important thing on the show. Nothing else really matters. Like it really is. Absolutely. The biggest thing on this show. So
listen, man, I'm with it. So good for that.
Rich Holland back to wrestling this week.
Oh yeah, I mean, look at it. You got to get right back on the horse. After you broke the horse's neck, you got to get right back on that horse.
Yeah,
and do it again. So you know what? I give props to him. That would have had me shook. He might still be shook. But props to him, man, for getting back on that thing. Listen, it's tough. People gonna call you all types of names. Gonna call you unsafe. Gonna call you muscular. You gonna have wrestling announcers who hasn't wrestled in 20 years try to call out your skill.
Yeah, that was rough, man.
I was like, come on, man. You know he knew. Why the fuck?
You're on a damn show with mad unsafe niggas.
Yeah. Come on, son. Like, don't do that. Don't do that, Taz. Oh, you need a suplex. You're supposed to pop the hips if you was a real suplex. When's the last time you hit a suplex, bro? I'm just saying. I didn't like that, but you know what? People gonna do whatever they do. People gonna go up for it. It is what it is. What else
happened on the show? Johnny Knoxville, Sami Zayn, falls count anywhere.
Anything goes.
It had to be that. There's a complete and utter lack of stipulation matches on this card.
And we need one.
We need more. I am shocked. I am fucking shocked that they have not put one for Bianca and Becky yet. And it so needs one.
I feel like we're going to get it, especially after these double injuries for sure. I feel like we're going to get one.
Like, because this one does feel like the blow off. Like, the thing about Mania, nothing blows off. Like, this isn't for feuds to get blown off anymore. A lot of these matches on this card, I can see happening again. I would really like if they kept the Bianca Becky thing to that and they left it alone.
Right.
Because of the way it's been built, and they've already faced each other multiple times already.
I agree.
So, like, I don't know. Like, I just feel like there needs to be more. I'm praying that Ricochet gets a match. I'm praying. But he looks cool with that belt.
Yeah. He got the belt, so I'm not even gonna. I feel like I would love for him to have a match, but honestly, I gotta pick and choose at this point of like match or lose the belt at Wrestlemania.
I'm glad he's not going. He's not losing it to Sammy. I'm glad he's not losing it right back to Sammy though. So that would have been hard. That would have been hard for me. But that was SmackDown. Short show. I felt like the 2 hours flew by, but I was in Barcelona, so you never know. Raw. Of course, we talked about the KO Stone Cold thing. Tremendous segment. That was all we got from him. On SmackDown this week or on Raw this week, which is fine.
Yeah,
it's fine. That's all we needed.
Today was the Seth show. It was the Seth show this week. We're still the journey of this match is Seth versus Cody match, which we reported it's at this point, it's 5 weeks ago that we said this on this show.
I think I tweeted it too. I was like, the Visionary and the American Nightmare. Like it's
5
gonna
weeks
happen.
ago, 5 weeks ago, it is what it is. However, it was the Seth show this week. All of trying to figure out his journey to WrestleMania. How does he figure out in WrestleMania? This was similar to last week, where clearly, to me, they need to fill up this 3-hour show.
Yeah, yeah. It wasn't the best Raw this week. I thought last week's was better. I did like Seth coming out and people were like, "What are you doing?" Just like the fans popped every time though. The fans popped every time, and it was definitely like desperation
because they wanted Cody. Listen,
they were the CM Punk chants are gone. It is now Cody chants at WWE shows,
which is wild AF. By the way, it's just wild. It just is what it is. So definitely. We got a lot of Seth on the show. We got Seth versus AJ Styles. I'm gonna give a buck with you. I didn't really pay attention to that match.
It was good. I mean, it was to the level of all the other matches that they've had. Did feel
y'all were talking in the Discord about how I'll barely be paying attention. That is correct. That is correct.
Well, no, like the conversation was because I wanted to at least get a gauge of how much they tried this week. I feel like next week is going to be the show that they try. But I was like, what's the temperature? And everyone was just like, skip everything, do YouTube. And I don't do that. So like, I like to talk about the shows, and I like to, I appreciate you. But I'm saying, like, even if you're not necessarily paying attention to it, I like to be like, okay, well, we forgot this. How do you like about it? Because you at least know about it. But it's like, you can't just YouTube, you can't YouTube everything. Like I at least want to watch it, because I feel like it's not fair for me to say that, like, I was watching, like, it's just me. It's just my work ethic. You know what I mean? And people are like, well, how can you do 3 hours? I'm like, nigga, I'm doing other things when I'm doing that 3 hours, obviously. But like, I'm still, watching the show and checking it out. And, the temperature was mild on the show. I thought, again, this is a show like every other Raw that has really good matches, and then everything in between is like whatever. Like you're subjected to a fucking 24/7 match. It's just like, I'm tired of those. I don't like those. I'm tired of those matches happening. A really weird Carmella. How'd you feel about Carmella Zelina shit? It was just it was weird. Like, why would me and you fight just so we could be like, oh yeah, y'all saw us punch each other in the face for real, just so we could fool y'all?
Women be crazy.
This was fucking weird. I was like, I could have gone without that.
I could have gone without that. Carmella, you know what? I appreciate Carmella's commitment to the character, even if no one cares. She is going to be into this character no matter what, so I appreciate that. And
Hall of Famer. Hall of Famer.
So yeah.
Carmella's a Hall of Famer. He's a Hall of Famer.
What else happened? There's rumors for Omos.
Oh yeah, we forgot about those rumors. I guess it's good to bring them up here that Omos will have a match at Mania, and it will be against Bobby Lashley.
Big Bob, baby.
Seemingly cleared. I would have rather Alexa or someone have that slot instead. I just don't. I don't think Omos is ready for this thing.
And I think it needs a build. I think it definitely needs a build.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of it just being thrown out seemingly on the last fucking week before the show.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking up our prediction, by the way, our prediction show. But Bobby will more than likely win this match, and he should, because like what is the trajectory for Omos? There isn't one. Bobby at least could be in the title picture for the foreseeable future. Omos cannot.
Or so we think.
If Omos gets the title, bro.
We're back to 2006, 2007, baby.
But the thing is that once you split them up, but like they had this split off AJ Styles because they knew they wanted the Edge match. And you can't get that Edge match if Edge wants to turn heel. Like what AJ's doing right now is perfect for them. What Omos is doing is like, you could have did Aziz again. I thought the Aziz match was really fun last week. But right. It's like you can't do that every week. And so it like he turns into Braun Strowman now, where they're gonna keep doing this monster character and people are gonna beat him in really dubious ways. And I'm just tired of the monster character. Like there is a place for monsters in WWE. You know what I think that they should be doing? Not having them on TV weekly, having them on certain spots. You know what I mean? Like and not having him be a fucking heel, like it's just boring. There's like Raw is a heel heavy show, Meelz, and he's just another one of the heels. This is a heel heavy show.
Listen, man, people ain't even care that Miz pulled off Rey Mysterio's mask.
Bro, the two biggest stars on the show on Raw are heels. Kevin Owens and Seth are not good guys. They're heels on the show, and they got the most camera time this week.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
They did.
Raw, they just trying to fill up the show, baby. They just trying to fill up this 3 long ass hours. People are fake excited that Veer is showing up on Raw in 2 weeks. I hope y'all are excited when he shows up.
Yeah, good. Watch that show. Better be 3 million views.
Oh yeah, week. Man. You know it's coming. They gearing people up. They line up the cannon. I love Becky Lynch's promo. I love that she's, like you said, she's leaning into truly being a villain, truly being booed, truly being the opposition. She is not cool in comparison. She is not better than. She is different. She is hated. She is an asshole. And she wanted people to know it, and she wanted to let people know that she means it this week. So I'm happy with that.
Yeah, it's like she was too cute, I feel like. And I think that gave a lot of people leeway to say that her heel turn wasn't a real heel turn when it really was.
Right.
The narrative going around is that, I guess, because Becky was getting cheers, that they set Bianca up, and or Bianca wasn't a good enough babyface to offset those. But if you were really watching the shows, you would see that it was either 50-50 or 60-40 every time in favor of Bianca. Let's just be clear. I'm watching the same shit these guys are watching. And from Extreme Rules all the way on, if you put her against Bianca Belair, she was getting booed against her. Let's just be clear. They were never cheering her when she won these matches, ever. So you put her against Liv, you put her against Doudrop, you put her against all these people where she could be the opposition here. I think the only time that she might have gotten cheers was against Charlotte. That was it. And that was in November. But I think what she does here, talking about she sold her soul for the belt, she'll do anything for the belt. And Bianca's just not ready to go that deep. She's not ready to go that low. I thought it was fantastic. I thought it was great. She finally got consistent boos where people were like, okay, we're not supposed to be cheering this shit. And it was because she stopped doing the "you people never cheered me" shit. And she started saying the real truth, that she's going to do anything she can to keep that title. They're playing up the fact she's never been pinned for it. They're playing up the over 300, 400 some days, 500 some days that she's held it without being beat. I'm sorry, Becky. Roman's held it concurrently. You had to drop it for a while. You got it back. But I get it. This match is going to be a banger. I think it should go on first.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Before we get out of here, would you like some ROH news? I just came across my table.
Before that, Edge hit AJ with a chair.
Yeah. Edge was there. I was like, oh, you kind of, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, okay.
You knew it was going to happen. So when it happened, I laughed because I was like, oh, yeah, that's how they get out of both guys losing right now.
Yeah. I was like, oh, okay. Yeah. Edge was there.
But it was funny because Seth was like, what? He can't do that. Like, he was like, wait a minute. It was funny because it played into the promo that they had with Seth and AJ, where it was like, I'm gonna do something you couldn't do, and that was beat Edge, and Edge coming back eventually to essentially screw Seth, whether it be consciously or not, in his own mind now, out of his shot at WrestleMania, the same way that Seth screwed him. I thought it was a good callback. It was good.
Fucking fire, man.
Yeah.
Can't wait to see that match.
We'll go ahead with this ROH.
Okay. According to Fightful Select, says pretty much after a long wait, FTR versus the Briscoes was announced for Supercard of Honor recently. The match had been in the plan and hope for Ring of Honor booker Delirious, as evidenced by the program at Final Battle. However, we're told that things really kicked up in the match in January, and there were a lot of ups and downs before it was finally confirmed. Along the way, Warner Media had made it clear that they did not want the Briscoes in AEW at the time, which we still don't know how that has changed or if it'll affect ROH's status. Fightful has been told by many indie promoters that they wanted to book the match, but they weren't given that go-ahead. At one point, it looked like the match wouldn't happen at all. When Tony Khan acquired ROH, the match was put back on and set for Supercard of Honor. We're told it was quite the process, and everyone involved worked hard to make it a reality when it seemed like it would be pretty straightforward initially. I assume that's why mad people apologized over the last week. As reported last week, as of this moment, Delirious is still with the company. However, we're told that after Supercard of Honor, he will no longer be committed to the company. So if you wanted Cody booking right there, I mean, here you go. There are numerous former ROH names who were hopeful they'd be brought back to the ROH reboot. However, many since have had no contact with ROH management, which is Tony Khan, by the way. If you're trying to contact Tony Khan, apparently he is very hard to get in contact with. Ex Chavo Guerrero.
Just tweet him. Tweet him.
Just tweet him. Just tweet some shit. Those that we've spoken to should be operating on the assumption that they won't be brought back into the new company if they don't have a current deal. But that could change. So that means everyone who's fired could still remain fired despite this company being brought back. Many people in the same boat were actually planned for the ROH Supercard reboot. Among those would be Killer, Cross, and Scarlett, who we were told were set for the show and had spoken with Delirious about their parents. But when the regime changed, they had not heard back. Ouch.
Yeah, they're not coming back.
We're told to expect at least one person on the Supercard show to emerge as a signing with AEW or ROH, which I assume is going to be Jonathan, the ROH champion, I assume. Maybe
Gresham, yeah, he'll be back. That's interesting. This is seeming a lot more confusing than I think that they wanted it to seem.
Buying a company ain't easy, huh?
Yeah,
it ain't easy.
I mean,
pimping
you know
ain't
what
easy.
happened? Like, you know what happened? He when he said that Shane shot, he sent that like WWE shot when he announced it. I was like, you know what? Every time they do something like that, karma bites them in the ass. And I think that they're gonna have a lot of trouble with some of the more problematic entities that were still in ROH. And they're gonna I don't think they'll have a problem finding talent, but they're gonna start having a problem finding talent that's gonna move the needle to ROH's level. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna have to bring back some of these fired people, and they're gonna have to try and make something out of it. But they can't bring back everyone. And if AEW wants to promote ROH, they can't have like the tag team champions in there. So it's like, so why are you keeping the Briscoes? You know what I mean? Like they're gonna have to go. I think the Briscoes are legitimately gonna have to go. These guys they're toxic to the touch. Like, and they've been able to stay in ROH for so long and be protected, roughly by that regime. And now that they're gone, they might legitimately be fucked. For real.
Listen, man.
It's scary. It's really spooky for those guys, man.
That's the week, though.
Yeah, that is the week in wrestling.
We caught the news before it turned into some Wednesday shit.
Yeah, for fucking once. Thank you guys for listening. We are back. I will be in Dallas next week. If you see me, just say hi, man. Just come over and say hi. If you see me, we'll be at Wrestlemania. We'll be all around eating, chilling out. Me and the RNC A Show Network boys. But next week we got a huge show for you guys. We're still kind of rounding up the guests and stuff like that for the prediction show. It's going to be fantastic. It's, again, like I said, it's one of our most popular shows of the year. So you definitely want to tap into that one. But yeah, so we of course have me and Cyrus are doing Spot Color still. I had to kind of recover, but it's going to be ECW Hardcore Heaven 96. So that's your announcement.
Okay.
Or yes, RVD versus Sabu. I wanted to get like a really it's a really breezy show. So I wanted to do something really easy for us before we go into April. So that's going to be out by next week. So stay tuned for that. Sorry for it being so late. Of course, I was out of town, so we did get that done. So yeah, make sure you listen to the War Report end of the week with Cyrus and Quan. And we should have more stuff for you guys coming soon. We talked about the Hot Chip Challenge. We did not forget about it. We're scheduling it right now. I had some fiance wanting to be present issues, so like she wants to be there. So we're gonna figure out that time, and we're gonna get to it. So you guys will know on the Patreon as soon as we know when we're gonna be able to do that. We did not forget. We want to make this happen. So thank you all for listening. For Meelz, I am Justin. We'll see you guys next week for our Mania pre-show prediction show. Peace out. Be safe.